I can barely hear you.
I'm finna open it, bro. Are we good?
Sorry
Yo,
for bothering you with my
good
friendship.
evening. Good evening. Yo, we back again. Having this
I want to say a profanity right now. Shit.
is that why you made this topic?
Huh?
Is that why you made this topic?
No, not to say the words, but to talk about people who say them, and I'll explain why. It was more fitting for you.
Oh my
That's
God.
just it.
So today's podcast is about
Let me fix my post. I look like the drunk uncle. All right, let me be professional.
I'm sure that's not who you are.
No, I'm the drunk nephew. Uh, so today's topic is going to basically be profanities.
Okay.
So why they're okay, why they're not, whether they're just sounds we make because they were taught by our culture. Are they good? Are they bad? Do they matter? I thought of this topic because I think it was Gary Vee. He said that he doesn't trust people who
Who don't
refuse. Yeah. Okay, okay, so you go ahead. So I was like, I remember the previous boss I had, I loved her. She was great. She was a great boss.
Mhm.
And she would refuse to say a bad word, no
Okay.
matter how upset she was.
Mhm.
So I thought it was, I mean, she did have a personality, don't get me wrong, but she would just refuse to profanity. She would be okay with us saying it, with me saying them. I mean, as long as there were no officers, around us.
Okay.
So I was like, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's just kind of a word, and it depends on your intent. So I wanna hear your take on it. See what you think
All right.
about profanities, because you and I both use it. I've been better. I used to use them a lot, but now it's like I want to kind of prove my point in other ways.
Okay.
I kind of want
So
to,
Nico, as long as I've known you,
the most, right?
you've never been just
No, no, no.
unrelentingly profane.
Yeah, in both English or Spanish. Like I don't,
Yeah.
I do say it. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like you don't identify me by it.
No, no,
Basically,
not even.
yeah.
So my take on profanity is this. I saw that thing about Gary Vee, so he doesn't trust people who don't curse.
He gave a great explanation. I just forgot it, but it was a great explanation. It made me think. It made me think.
It was legitimate. I was like, okay. Now, knowing from linguistics and psychology, from my personal experience, I look at people who curse as an aspect of boundaries and comfort of expression. So I remember a lot of kids not being taught that words were profane, so they would just use them because it was adult words.
Yeah,
It was a feeling of liberation. Well, I'm an adult because I can use these words. Okay. Or when curse words or bad words. We learned that they were bad words or curse words before we learned that they were called profanity. That you were cursing someone or they were bad. Well, what makes bad is bad is subjective. But I look at it like this: they are part of a language. They are able to help you express ways, especially things that are
they're a
great,
tool to be used.
things that are great, things that are terrible, and that's where they are there. I remember reading somewhere that somewhere
Do you
very
remember?
big
Go ahead, Ron.
big quote that says those who use excessive profanity have trouble expressing themselves and or articulating themselves. And I thought about those who can only curse and use profanity as a way to express their frustrations.
Yeah, their only way.
They're that's what they resort to. I there's a certain level of that I agree with, but when I honestly when I think about profanity, it's or colorful language.
Oh, damn.
I
I'll
believe
take a drink
that
to that.
I
That was
believe that
beautiful.
yeah, I believe that those who know how to deliver what they would call profanity isn't it just enhances the overall palette of a person's vocabulary. If you can only curse, so you're I drop the dirt. If you feel validated by curse words or validated by profanity, then that's just your personal insecurity. If you are so afraid that you can't say certain words because you're being clocked or watched, then you have a level of insecurity that you don't feel that you need to keep a barrier or limitation on your words.
Exactly.
Profanity is what it is. Calling you a certain thing is a certain thing. All right, cool. Cursing someone is different. if you curse someone saying I hope this happens to you. I actually curse you. I hope this happens to you. I hope this happens to your family. I hope you don't amount to
Which people
anything.
don't ever admit they do, but they do, and they
People
do it all
curse
the
people.
time.
Yeah, that's when you curse someone. But when you call somebody SOB or a-hole or all those type of
Yeah,
things,
it depends on your intent.
yeah, well, your intent is whatever. Some people say words jokingly, some people don't. I don't really begrudge anybody for using profanity. If you're profanity heavy, it makes me think about what do you really want to say that you can't express. That's why you use profanity so much. The whole idea of curse like a sailor. Okay, all right. Well, what do you really want to say? Take the profanity away. What do you really want to say?
Yeah, like what's the message behind it?
Yeah, what's really got going on? Or for a person who doesn't use profanity and they get really upset or whatever, what word would fit there? Especially if you can't articulate. Some people just stay quiet, or they just what? Bless your heart, and they're sarcastic, or they're dismissive,
Oh yeah,
or they use something in its place. And I'm like, that's why you have kids that say, heck and darn. That's the precursors of cursing, precursors of profanity. The cartoons do it all the time.
at the end of the day, you're doing it.
Yeah,
That's
Gary Vee said that about his kids.
So
He would let his kids curse.
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
interesting. So what do you remember the explanation for him not trusting people who do you remember? Because I don't.
I don't remember, but if I
should have looked it up before the topic.
People can look it up. But for me, what I remember is that he doesn't trust people who don't curse, because I think he's like, they're not willing to be honest with how they feel about something, to say the word that would best represent it. And if basically it would be
But
like,
maybe that can be because they're used to not using the word.
maybe
It's like you get used to going through life without something. You got used to, because
Yeah.
you haven't used it in so
like
long.
I'll say this. So in the legal realm or in professional realm, I see when people are holding back from using certain words, which is a lot of times self-control and discipline. So I've been around coworkers new to a team. They let it slip. Oh shit. They let it slip. And I'm like, oh, okay. Given your environment, your setting, sometimes what people do is, to find comfort, they let things slip on purpose. Let little behaviors slip, little words slip, and see if they're still accepted. Right? That's all about awareness. When I see that people are gunning to use certain language, whether it be profanity, whether it be derogatory terms, whether it be racist tropes or sexist tropes, people are always looking for comfort. So there's got to be boundaries and limitations with that. Likewise, in the legal realm, sometimes things are really stuffy and really tight. So when I met lawyers and doctors and whatnot, that when they level with you, they talk how they normally would talk. So they use profanity and
That's how they actually talk.
Yeah, and then how they actually talk. So in professional settings that are now less formal and more now casual, you use more casual speak. Now you can be like, all right, you really do talk like this. So that's when you get the professional be like cursing or use certain words, or you'll get around the woman and be like, well, I know you talk like that. They'll use more loose language. They'll use slang. They'll use ebonics and stuff like that. Oh, okay.
Euphemisms,
right?
Yeah, I got big words too.
So it's just an aspect of comfort. Like when I notice biggest aspect, if you're bilingual, when you're in certain settings, if you feel comfortable enough to make yourself comfortable around other individuals, you will speak Spanish. I know a lot of companies and organizations, they don't like people to use a language that might not know. I know that's for reasons, but it's aspects of comfort.
I know somebody I may or may not be talking to. At the beginning, it was like we were talking normal. And then I'm noticing, do you know the one I told you about?
Yeah.
I'm noticing the little cuss words are coming out a little more often.
See, yeah.
So I'm like, we're chilling, we're talking, and then I hear pop, 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 like 3 bombs all at once. I'm like, oh shit. Like,
yeah.
It's not even an argument, or like we're just talking about life. And then it's anything that pop, 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 and then I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting, because I don't say it as I'm okay with it. But I don't personally use it much.
But people don't know you're okay with it.
But that's because we're more comfortable.
Yeah, that's like the N word for black people. That's like the F word for people who were gay. It, you know, it's one of those things that in social circles for people to test the barometer and test the temperature. What's
It's about
going
your
on?
intentions, you know. I've said the F word to my homies and stuff, but of course I don't like mean it as an insult.
Which F word?
Fa.
Okay, all
Not
right,
not
just okay. Just be clear. I'm
I mean
like,
that's what I meant,
yeah,
yeah.
because because you might be like, man, F you, and some people laugh at that, be like, oh, okay, or
I mean saying F you I think is the dumbest thing.
but yeah,
That's dumb.
but everybody kind of moves differently in regards. But that's how I think people test. They test the barometer of the circles and the company they keep by the language they use. Like, you kind of like trap music. I don't like trap music at all, really.
Yeah, I love trap music.
I like beats, some trap beats, but most of it. But what it's sometimes what you not only what people ingest and digest, but also what they put out in the world. Profanity is one of those things. If you don't have balance between your profanity to basically show that you have a balanced side and your only profanity, then I'm just like, okay, this is excessive. Or even to being excessively prude. Like I don't like about people who are overtly and overly or religious. Oh, it's just no holier than thou. No, you're a human being. Where's the balance?
Yeah,
If you
they
don't
try to play it off like they
you
like they don't have any flaws.
you can't just
I
be
come
salty with
stop
no
playing.
pepper. You gotta have balance. So that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing I'm about, man. You got to.
That was a good one.
That's why, man. That's one of the funny things where we think a lot of dudes don't think women fart. It's like
No, after a couple months, oh, they probably far more than us.
yeah, that's why I think you gotta be realistic. And it's about creating creating a comfortable medium so that people can if that's how you talk. Because be real with the people you're around. Be real with me. If that's how you talk, let me know now so I can be like, oh, okay, all right, I'm cool with that. Or like, oh, that's how you refer to what's name? Like, nah, because I can see like you said, the intent, the
Yeah,
mindset
it's the
behind
intent,
that.
of course. When I've noticed with people who use it a lot,
Profanity, of course.
I do feel a little uncomfortable.
Although, okay.
And not only
When it's
that,
excessive,
but
because some people that's how
every other
that's what
sentence.
yeah, like when
I use it for like for me to like I don't want to say
emphasis.
what yeah emphasis that's the right
Emphasis.
word, but people who use it like every couple of sentences
Yeah,
like N word this if that is
yeah,
that it's
MF
like
this MF or this MF or this MF or I'm like, yo.
or MF is like it's not necessary.
Yeah, like
You know.
I met men and women who every woman is a B, every dude
Exactly,
is an
or
N
it's an B
or
or an
MF or I'm
H.
like, yo,
So and
damn.
not only do I feel uncomfortable, but I feel like if it keeps up, I start to see you a little bit.
I will see you a little different because that's how you judge the world. How you label and identify the world by what you call things. Like it's like ugly. It's like the word ugly.
Yeah, and it also speaks about yourself.
Yeah, it speaks a lot about yourself and how you view the world. If everything to you is man, yo man, hey man, what's up with that little ugly little boy over there? Why's it gotta be ugly? Oh man, I'm just joking. I don't mean nothing by it. That's what we say.
Yeah, but
But
yeah, it's just
it's repetition and it
it's
creates a habit,
repetition.
and that
So,
habit is how you view the world.
and you are your habits. Let us know down below the last 5 profanities you've used and why you use them. What do you guys think about this topic? Is it right? Like, is it okay, or are they just words
Are these words?
that we made up as humans, which is technically also kind of true?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments down below. And also comment the names of the last 3 people you cussed out. Leave a like in this video, subscribe to our channel, share it to all your friends. Tell them if they're not watching us that they're missing out, and or that the marketing team hasn't done its job. And which is me, basically. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the other episode, which if you made it all the way to the end, you'll get the little what do you call it? The inside scoop. The next podcast is going to be about the Qatar World Cup.
Qatar World Cup. That's
what you get for getting to the end.
Yo.